I mean, props to Fearless, though. Like, last game around, he had some great burrow strikes, great initiations. He died a couple times that were maybe a bit out of position, but overall, a great performance. So I think if you want to just go back to it, why the hell not? And it is a bit of a flex pick, because you can still just throw it in the off lane, run the DK mid if you want, or even the DK safe. The Mirana's still going to have a good time regardless, because you have the double stun going, regardless of the Sand King or the DK. GXR, see how they respond. They'll go for the Batrider pickup, interestingly enough. Either going back to that point I was making earlier, John, if you do go Sand King off lane, you're going to have the Caustic Finale, which is going to be much more effective against in your Dreams Terrorblade. So maybe you just go down that route. Who the hell knows?
It's still a great combo, Sand King Mirana. We've seen a lot of other teams do that as well. So the flex is still there. I like the Batrider sliding through from GXR, just because it gives him steady hold. It gives him way of kiting around the DK. If they manage to get the DK Batrider lane, so maybe assuming DK mid. Batrider mid matchup is pretty good for Bat, and it does give them some great ways to be aggressive. You will tend to farm up until Blink Travels tends to be what you look for on the Bat. Once that's up, you just get running. You can catch out most of the heroes in the back and just drag them in for the kill. And GXR can kind of play with that pace. Motivate.Trust, I do feel like we're lacking the Jackie hero, so it's more than likely, as we mentioned, Masaro's Sand King with Mirana to lane with, Fearless just playing the stable DK. But that is a tough lane. Like I don't know if you really want your DK to have to deal with that. They are banning out some great offlane heroes that Mizu plays. Tide gone and Timbersaw gone. So they are assuming Batrider mid for Alacrity. We'll see. Last pick overall for Motivate.Trust. Galaxy Racer will have to show their hands first.
No, absolutely. GXR, final pickup. They mid lane or off lane. I think they are looking for a mid lane here. Does Alacrity what? Something a bit more impactful than, say, the mid tiny. Like, it just drops off way too quick, that mid tiny. I'll probably try for something a little bit different here. We've got 30 seconds to think about it. You still want some kind of fast-paced mid lane, right? I don't think you want to play a farming core in that mid lane.
I think they're still assuming a Batrider mid. If they're assuming the DK mid as well, I think they just want to match that lane. You just have the Batrider stock the Dragonite and just pick Mizu something more teamfight oriented. No option for Tide, and Timbersaw makes it tough, but I guess a Brewmaster is an option if you want something disruptive. That could work out as well. They go with the Ember instead, so they will actually run the Mizu Batrider instead. Ember mid. I wonder if they're going to try to stock. I wonder if they assume Jackie's going to take that safe lane DK. Now, Motivate.Trust can just have Fearless run the DK mid versus Ember. That's a manageable lane. And you take something safer for Jackie to deal with Batrider. Never a fun lane for any core against Bat. So it's still going to be a bit tough there for Jackie, but they can take something that's not as atrocious as a DK.
Could still go something like a Ricky. Ricky does do okay. You can just tricks the trade out of most of the things. Blink Strike is there. Yeah, the Sticky Napalm's kind of annoying, but, you know, it's like, it's kind of like whatever. You know, you just kind of turn around, Blink Strike out, tricks the trade out. Maybe not, though. It can be really annoying, actually, when you think about it. And it does seem like they need a heavier kind of carry. Maybe you could go down the Medusa route that we've been seeing so much of from Jackie. Not banned out as far as I can tell. Doesn't do too badly into the draft of GXR either. Maybe the lasso kind of annoying against the Medusa, but, you know, breaking that gap and trying to actually get the lasso is always pretty difficult when you've got the Stone Gaze.
I'd say, well, I would have said Drow, but I think the issue of the Ember is a bit more scary than the Batrider for the Drow there. Easy for the Ember to just jump in, get the chains off, then the follow-up can come through from the Batrider instead. I guess the Ricky's probably one of the better choices. Like, at the least, you can always blink out if dangerous, you said, and you get the Grimstroke combo. They go to Lifestealer instead, so you have the innate spell immunity here on Motivate.Trust. You've got some pretty good bomb targets in the Sand King and the DK. They are actually sticking to the Sand King mid. Masaros will take that DK off lane. Galaxy Racer, no, there's no way they're going to flex it with a Mizu offlane Ember, so it's got to be Alacrity there, and that should be manageable for Masaros now. You still have the arrow combos with set 0. The Sand King versus Ember Spirit matchup, this is something I know we've seen Yopaj play against a couple of times, and it is very manageable for Sand King. You just farm up, melee matchup, Caustic Finale is going to have value, Sandstorm's going to be pretty nice as well. Really, it's level 1 that hurts for the Sand King there, level 1 to 2. Once you kind of overcome that, you're pretty set. I think the drafts, I will lean towards Motivate.Trust. I like the combinations they have with Mirana. I like their team fight. I like the Lifestealer in this context that you are forced to lasso Jackie every time, because when he rages, that's your only control outside of Winter's Curse, and it might not be ideal to curse the Lifestealer because he's not going to die. So you might just have to commit the lasso there, and that can give Motivate.Trust time to turn around. For Galaxy Racer, they've got the Terrorblade and In Your Dream. They've got better pacing from Alacrity. He can scale a lot faster compared to the Tiny. It's just down to, again, executing proper. They need to play a pretty nice pace here with Mizu and just get space out with the Ember Spirit as well.
Do you get concerned, though, for Motivate? Like, Lifestealer into Terrorblade doesn't sound like an amazing matchup for Lifestealer, does it? Like, it sounds rather difficult. A high armor hero like TB, gonna have range with the meta. If you break the gap, maybe you can get the damage out once you have, like, a Deso up or something, but it could be a pretty rough game just based off the carry matchups here for Motivate.
The Terrorblade is a stronger core scaling. I don't think it's a vacuum, though. Like, it's not going to be like a 1v1 thing where the Lifestealer is always going to have to man fight against Terrorblade. You've got the control there on Fearless. You've got the scalability on Masaris as well to alleviate that pressure. I think they've got, at the very least, if things go really bad, they've got the Dark Portrait that can come out here from Q down the line. So there's some ways to do it. And I feel like Lifestealer is sort of underrated towards late game. Yeah, it's not an amazing damage dealer, but it sustains in man fights quite well.
Yeah. Oh, the die triangle right now. It's a bit of a group up going on. GXR are going to avoid the rotation there from Motivate. No first bloods happening too early on. Still could, I guess. Jackie's still rushing forward onto Mizu. Gets himself some nice stick charges. Very, very nice. It's always going to be one of the positives about going against the Batrider is getting those juicy stick charges. Mizu still has to be very cautious as well. Fearless, if you can somehow break the gap, you might be able to set up for a kill, but it's not going to be the case. They're just going to try and take the Batrider away from Mizu. And that's exactly what they'll do. And they'll get a 3-for-1. Paulison, he was trying to get one off Masaros, but it won't work out in his favor. So a bit of a gold advantage going the way of Motivate.Trust before the game really gets started. Not too big of a deal. And we'll talk about the top lane while we're here. Because we have Masaros on that off lane DK. It is going to be the double stun kind of lineup here with set 0 on that pos for Mirana. And of course, you are going to have Paulison on that Wyvern within your dream. We kind of talked about this during the draft. As long as you've got the Core and Embrace in your dream, should be fine. We'll see if Paulson opts to go for the value point in that Cold Embrace. Otherwise, he may be quite susceptible to dying to that arrow stun combination.
Yeah, I think the key thing is actually down to the Arctic Burn. Like, Paulson has to really be aggressive every time it's up. Try to just burn through the DK, stop him from just standing in that lane. As the points in Dragon Blood go up, though, it's not going to feel as amazing. And this is a slower start here for Motivate.Trust because of that entire exchange for the Bounty Rune. Masters did opt for level 1 Dragon Blood. So they can't quite line up for the Dragon Tail stun combo, but I think you're fine. You know there's a level 1 Metamorphosis. You don't want to really spend all those steps being orb walked by a Terrorblade. Once you have level 2, you know Metamorphosis will be off cooldown, and that's when you can start lining up your shots. So it's still going to hold steady. And it's all down to Paulson. He's got to play a more aggressive Winter Wyvern. He is doing a good job of making it awkward for Set 0 and Masaros to just try to get hits off.
That he certainly is. Of course, over in the mid lane, Alacrity, he's already got the chains out on Fearless, and Fearless, he's going to eat a Fairy Fire and survive. Alacrity already being very aggressive on that Ember. Fearless, he's keeping up in terms of CS, but his regen is basically just completely out. He has a bottle, though. We saw this last game around as well as bot lane. Jackie already being dived underneath the tier 1 tower. He does skill up the rage now on Q. He's going to try and go for an Ink Swirl underneath that tier 1 tower. It will connect onto Mizu, but Jackie, he is still very low in terms of HP and could drop. He'll go back for the creep wave, but he is going to go down for it. They will at least get Mizu's life in return, but well, they got the first blood on Jackie, and that's all that's going to matter for GXR.
Yep, I'm very happy about that on GXR's end. This is a tough lane for the Lifestealer. It's not like you have rage up every single time you're getting dived, so you have a lot of windows of opportunity here for GXR. And Jackie, he's off to a slow start in terms of farm. He's going to have to try to play catch-up, and this is the worrying part of Lifestealer. It's not his scaling, it's his initial farm. He doesn't flash farm well, he doesn't clear out creep waves well. Once you lag behind here, playing in the jungle is just not very quick for him.
No, it certainly is. See what kind of build-up he does go for in terms of itemization, but sure to be your standard kind of armlet build-up that we've been seeing quite a lot of. Maybe he goes into the Maelstrom for that magic damage against the TB, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Mid lane, Alacrity. Still having a really good time. So Fearless is definitely having an even better time right now because he is going back to farm the side camps with that Sandstorm. Alacrity completely unpressured. It's like both mid laners just want to try and get away from this lane with as much CS as possible. And I suppose as the levels do go up, Alacrity can try to get aggressive again. And he has gone for that skill build that does allow him that aggression with that the 2 levels in chains. Top lane, however, in your dreams in trouble, Paulson did not end up going for that cold embrace point, so they are going to be able to punish.
I can't fault Paulson for not going there. Early levels in the cold embrace just don't feel amazing when there's a lot of options for damage here, and oh no.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be able to dominate you, though. That's the problem. I realize he needs the Splinter Blast for that damage, but this is the problem, is he's so susceptible to dying down that TB. And even mid lane, Jocam ends up dying. Q, he picks up a kill on the Grimstroke.
Yeah, they're starting to line up that aggression and Motivate.Trust. They're just getting everything they could ask for. 4-1, less than 1k lead is standing for MTG. Alacrity's gonna get a bottle top up from Jocam, and they drop the sentry, so they could maybe play tag here.
Oh, chains off the mark though. Fearless, he's gonna be alright. He even gives the voice line.
I think the creep wave cleared out that sentry as well. It wasn't even
Fearless. Oh no. Top lane, Masteros is in trouble. In your dream, gonna try and get the damage out. No, it's not enough. He survives on 35 HP. He's got the Bracer, he's got the Dragon's Blood going, so he's gonna be more than happy to stick around in this lane, I think, Masteros. You could opt to go back to the Fountain, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's just gonna regen back up 2 levels in the blood. He's got the Soul Ring for a little bit more strength as well. And now they know Metamorphosis is down. So once they get the opportunity, once the mana's out on Paulson, they can just line up another Dragon Tail, keep getting farm up. In Your Dream is still finding good farm though. He is at 24-9, but he is lagging behind Jackie somehow. So not good news for the Terrorblade. When you see a Lifestealer doing better than you in lane, up against a Batrider, things are not going well for you.
Jokam's going to make a rotation up towards that top lane. Trying to set something up. They are quite low here. Set 0. He's going to get caught by the Impel, but Masteros will go for a Dragon Tail and they'll try to trade. Back in on Jocam. The Inkswell is not going to land. They do manage to get him out. So in the end, this Nyx Assassin rotation does end up paying off. At least they do get something. Well, mid lane, Fearless was trying to race Alacrity there for the power rune. It is going to be top though, and Alacrity is going to be able to pick it up, but he could be in trouble. He's out of mana. Slide of Fist, Remnant, but he doesn't have the mana for it. Can they kill him off? He has one more bottle charge. He's going to try and pop it, and it's going to be just enough. They could not cancel the charge. Meanwhile, top lane, Masteros, he's been caught. Jocam makes his appearance again at the top lane, and it does pay off once again.
Great kills coming out now for GXR. They're managing to waste Motivate.Trust's time as well. And the big worry here is Jackie being left alone bot. You kind of bailed out in the Lifestealer lane. Your Batrider has just been playing around, trying to get the creep pulse and cutting a wave, which doesn't stop Jackie from farming at this point. So the phase boots are up. His CS is all the way up as well. He still can't flash farm, but if he gets a good timing on the armlet, he's going to have some early presence in these fights. Remember, he's got so many targets to infest. He could go for the DK infest, he could go for the Sand King infest, and you can just easily get your initiation out that way.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Top lane Alacrity now trying to make his own rotation. Meanwhile, bot, Mizu, not going to get aggressive with the Firefly. It's just for farming purposes. 4-3, still a slight net worth lead, the way of Motivated. You know, all things being said and done, Jackie's still having a really nice time. Top of the net worth board, even with the lane matchup not being very favorable. Now Mizu's going to be kind of cautious as his Firefly is on cooldown. Looks like JoeCam, though, is going to show up down at the bot lane just to make sure, and Mizu's going to be fine. But Mizu, he's going to have to pop the Firefly and try to go for a bit of a run as Jackie will chase him down. Rage going to be popped. Mizu, does he find his way out of this? He's being slowed up. Lasso's going to be there. He'll just go for the TP play, and that'll be enough. He'll make it.
Yeah, he's still trying to build up on the Batrider. Mizu is lagging behind, even behind Masaros. He's going to have to eat some jungle space down the line. And not quite what you want to see from the Bat. You really tend to expect him to dominate a lane. So you're going to have to soak something off the Terrorblade or just play aggressively on the camps. Later on, that is going to stall out the blink timing. And they do rely on the blink lasso to set up. Otherwise, they'd be relying on Paulson's Winter Curse, which is not necessarily the best setup here on the side of GXR. So we'll see how much more music can get. He does have good stacks to clear out. Looks like they're willing to give that onto him. So it's not going to be too bad for him for too long. Motivate.Trust, though, they are still slowly building up here. Same thing's happening for Fearless. He's in the jungle camping out, and so is In Your Dream on the Terrorblade. Just at that point where all the heroes just want to slowly build up. Masaros does have the Dragon form. I think that is something more that Motivate.Trust can play with. They do have strong push potential coming out with the DK. So they can go for the tower trade a little bit earlier here.
Courier does go down there for Jackie. That, I believe that was his, Blades of Attack. Won't really matter too much. He didn't have the other components, and he might get Mizu here as a kill. He's going to try and Firefly away, but they'll have the damage out. Meanwhile, top lane, Paulson also being chased down on that Winter Wyvern. They should have more than enough to find the Wyvern kill to boot. Fearless does get in for the Burrow Strike, and the arrow is going to be there. Motivate.Trust finding 2 kills across the map. GXR, you know the game plan, but you're trusting in your dream to be able to carry them through this game on the TB, and he's farming decently, but still behind Jackie on that lifesteal.
And that's the big issue. Like, somehow Jackie's still getting more from his lane compared to In Your Dream, and In Your Dream had jungle access as well. You pick the Batrider to kind of counteract this kind of core Jackie, though.
Oh, he gets stunned, but can you actually kill him? I mean, with that, you've got the lasso, but it feels like he'd still get away anyway, quite frankly. He's got so many stick charges. It doesn't feel like he'd burn out fast enough.
He's just a bit too tanky. You need some more follow-up, not just the Nyx. The level scaling coming out from GXR is pretty slow as well. JoeCam's still level 4 on that Nyx. So is the Winter Wyvern, about the same points in EXP. So you don't have those big teamfight spells ready. Compare that to Motivate.Trust, already 6 on set 0, already 6 on Q. They're setting up good scan out to find his Terrorblade as well.
I mean, that's a big target you want. Epicenter, Fearless, Inkswall's there. That's going to be a guaranteed kill. There's just no way to survive through that if you're In Your Dream. He didn't have the help around to try and counter. Very nice scan and rotation from Motivate. GXR, I mean, that's the one person they need to be protecting right now, but unfortunately they kind of miss out. And now Q, very fast with the Inkswell. Very, very quick reactions out. Arrow's going to be there with the Burrow Strike. They might lose Q, but they should be able to get the Nyx Assassin. JoeCam, he's still alive, but not for long. Fearless does secure the kill. Alacrity, though, is going to be able to get set 0. So still a very kind of even trade on the supports. I'll tell you what, John, the reactions have been very quick today. I suppose there was a sentry, though, so maybe it wasn't quite reactions, but more so just they saw him, you know?
Yeah, that was a really good committal to the bait, though. You know, they didn't reveal it until the Vendetta Strike hit, and then that's the point when they got the Phantom's Embrace out, just stalling out long enough to still get a turnaround. You do lose 2 supports, so it's better overall for GXR, but you are still getting a ton of space out here on Motivate. Masaros, he's just rushing his blink. He's only about 700 gold away. They are starting to commit up top for the defense. Mizu does make his presence known, has the travel up. So he's got the move speed to run heroes down. Just needs to wait for the blink to be up and running.
Dire's bottom
And it's
tower
a
is under attack.
rather static game in terms of objectives. 12 minutes in, all the tier 1s still stand. Neither side fully committing for that. They're just hunting for kills.
Yeah. Joe Cam. Oh, Spy Carapace is there, but that's not really going to help him out too much. Buy him about a second. Oh, wait a minute. Where's the detection? Uh-oh. Winter's Curse. He's going to catch them out as well. In your dream, he's right around the corner. There's the Impel out. Jackie, he's going to have to go for a run. And apparently, nobody brought detection. Joe Cam had one. Rather, the Q had one. Did he not pop the dust?
I swear I saw a dust pop.
That's what I thought.
Right? Like, where was he right outside AoE? I have no clue. Maybe it was a dust from GXR to catch him in Moonlight. Masaros?
Rather, Joe Cam's in trouble still. Masaros, he's going to get Mizu. Jackie, unable to finish off Joe Cam. Still going to go after that tier 1 tower and feels very confident on the lifestealer at the moment. Jackie just feeling very, very confident here. So he just knows that they can't really kill him off without the lasso out from Mizu, and he's dead right now.
Oh, Alacrity.
Yeah, top lane, they've got the Ember, they'll take him down. That'll mean the tier 1 top tower is set to fall now. You've got the dragon form going on Masaros.
Dire's bottom tower
1k net worth lead now the way of Motivate.Trust. And yeah, Jackie's still ahead in terms of net worth. I'm not sure how he's doing it, but he's still out farming the Terrorblade.
Yeah, that's just silly. Like, In Your Dream should be having a better time. He's got control of his triangle. Maybe the lack of the top jungle camps hurt him.
Perhaps.
Radiant's
Top river. They're gonna find Joe Cam again and Motivate. Seems like they are in their tempo now. They're feeling good. 11 to 6. Net worth slowly increasing here for Motivate.Trust. Of course, Masaros, with the tail end of that dragon form, can get back to work onto that mid-tier 1 tower. GXR, I mean, they're not really going to need to defend per se, or maybe they will because Jackie's committing. They're going to be forced to bring Mizu into this mid lane. That'll be enough. Motivate.Trust, they'll back as soon as they see that.
Yeah, and while they do that, of course, Fearless is clearing out the top jungle, so the map space is limited to build up for In Your Dream. This might boil back down to that Batrider TB duo, right? Like, Mizu's also been sitting in the jungle. Mizu's also been clearing out camps, so it's not all going into just one pot in Your Dream, and that split up is hurting his acceleration. He's still got the Yasha Dragonlance up going to the S and Y, but it just feels like Motivate.Trust can do a lot more with a lot less items when the Terrorblade is not quite on top, and they're just kind of really applying that pressure. They have complete control of the top area. The bot lane slowly being shoved by Terrorblade Illusions, not an amazingly fast push without the committal. And aside of Motivate.Trust, they're just keeping eyes on mid. They're just going to reset now that Dragon form's back up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Motivate.Trust going back into that mid lane now. Dragon form is going to be popped. Paulison, oh, he's going to get caught. Another nice deep observer ward behind the tier 1. We'll catch him out on the Wyvern.
Has fallen.
GXR, they're just going to try and keep buying time. In Your Dream, it seems like he's limited now to that triangle that he has on the dire side. You need them to get a little bit more aggressive on GXR, and now with the Blink Dagger up on their Batrider, Mizu can certainly start to try to make plays, but it seems like Motivate are the ones that are going to start moving in with that Dragon Tail and Alacrity. Not expecting it. It's the exact same spot.
Dire's middle tower.
Masaros on a Mega. And this Ember, he just got his Maelstrom up to boot, but he's having a very rough time now.
And that is such a big mistake to make for a team like GXR. Like, sticking in the same spot you were ganked. Pinks were already coming out of the ward, and now they've got Moonlight. They might go again.
Yeah, same spot. Sentries are down, though. At least Paulison, he'll have some detection. Nobody's showing up on... Oh, maybe. They don't have the vision now. Terrorblade Illusions are going to push out the mid lane. They will reveal that they were trying the same trick.
Oh,
No, never mind. Joe Cam. No, he's going to be alright. Mizu, he'll jump in with the lasso. They'll take a nice, easy support kill. They'll take down Q. Not the greatest kill with the lasso, but you'll take what you can get right now if you're GXR. Bit of a rough position for them. Joe Cam. Oh, the sentry just dropped. Nobody even reacts. They all pretend like they didn't see it. And then immediately they turn around like savages and take the kill.
It reminds me of that little play near the Roshan, right? Like, he was under vision, they just kept walking like he wasn't and just waited for him to Vendetta strike. Like, this is Motivate.Trust being very disciplined, very patient now with how they execute some of these engagements. And GXR, they're just scrambling around to get what they can. They're still trying to build up. They are hitting some good spikes on Alacrity and on In Your Dream. Like, the full SNY is done for In Your Dream. So the Terrorblade can maybe show up, but it just feels like they have to be so cautious. Like the Blink Dragon Tail and the follow-up on Sand King, the follow-up on Mirana, the Inkswell on top of it. It's just so much control that just lands in one hero, and then suddenly the 4v5 just doesn't feel great for GXR.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Motivate, they'll start moving in. Arrow gonna be avoided there by Alacrity, but it was definitely a nice little attempt there from our Mirana, as now Q's dived really deep. Sentry's gonna be placed, Policy's gonna spot him out. Inkswell's there. Q is just rushing them. He gets a double Inkswell as well. Now Masteros comes in. They'll get the double stun off the arrows there, Alacrity. He just can't catch a break. Jackie just rushes onto Polison. In Your Dream, he might get Masteros. Can they find more? They might get Q. But no, the epicenter burrow strike. Fearless is here to turn it right back around. Joe Cam will drop. In Your Dream, he can't get close because Jackie's there on the life stealer. Comes at a price. What kind of play is that from Q? What was that? Oh, In Your Dream. Oh, what? In Your Dream. No, he went back to farm. Sunder on the illusion. I mean, it's going to buy him some time, and Mizu's here now. So he survives, but boy oh boy, that was a close call for him.
Yeah, way too close for comfort. I want to point out Q was probably trying to play Nyx. I think that's what it was. He was trying to be the Nyx this game. He ran up. How did he get that off? Like the Inkswell stun on 2 with a Soulbind. Like, jeez, it just set up for Motivate.Trust. And GXR, they find some bigger kills there. They managed to force a bit more of a cautious response from Motivate.Trust. I do worry about these item spikes coming through. Jackie's gonna have Scotty first. He's gonna have the Scotty ahead of In Your Dream. Like that's just ridiculous timing. The added slows, the slow stacking with the Ghoul Frenzy, they're just gonna keep people stuck in one spot, and this Lifestealer can just run you down. The damage output isn't great. You are seeing issues with ripping through the Terrorblade in a 1v1, but he's not dying either. Jackie is just nearly unkillable up front with what GXR has. GXR has been very cautious with using that Winter's Curse. Paulson hasn't thrown one recently. I think they are starting to rely on either the Curse or the Lasso to give them targets to kill off. And if you can't land either one, Motivate.Trust is just going to be able to dance around you like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Very rough times now for GXR. I mean, you look back at In Your Dream, he's going to go for the BKB first because there's just so many stuns available. Whereas Jackie with the Eye of Skadi, he's going to be so much more of a nuisance. That slow is just so painful to try and play against as well in conjunction with the Ghoul Frenzy. Now Moonlight Shadow with the smoke out. Sentry's going to be placed preemptively here by Polison to protect that triangle, but the scan is there. Motivate, they know exactly where they are. It's just a matter of trying to get into that triangle. Though Alacrity. Oh no. Fearless is going to find him. They don't get the arrow. It's not going to make it. They almost got him again. But not this time. He barely makes it out.
And that was very close there for Alacrity. Just the timing would have been perfect if it was just a millisecond earlier coming out from set 0. Very fortunate to bail out there. Still the 2k lead rides on for Motivate.Trust. GXR, they are still trying to build up BKBs on Mizu and on In Your Dream. They're inching towards that point where they're going to have that spell immunity, and suddenly the damage output coming out from Fearless is moot. It's not going to be as scary up front. But there's that Scotty. Jackie's got it faster. He's got 3.2k HP with the armlet on. He is a very hard hero to kill. Has a ton of armor as well. GXR has to be very cautious in engaging against that lifestealer.
Dire's
I mean,
bottom
they
tower is
I
under
don't think they
attack.
can engage him. That's the thing. Like,
No.
you just can't. You can't fight him right now, Jack. He's still ahead of the Terrorblade. I mean, he's just farming like a madman. He's got no farming tools. He's just making it happen. Mid lane, JoeCam and Paulson trying to keep this wave push down. Mizu's working towards the BKB just to be able to jump in and get these lassos off without getting chain stunned. But now you've got a BKB up on Fearless as well. So multiple BKBs on the map now. Inkswell is there. Again, they want Alacrity, but this time he will react fast enough to avoid that Dragon Tail. Paulson, back right off as well. Be a big fight in this mid lane very soon. GXR starting to group up in preparation. It's Motivate.Trust. They're going to start taking back the outpost of this dire end. Start taking control of that Roshan area. You haven't got the greatest Roshan lineup for Motivate, but you can still take it if you get a nice team fight to go your way. They might even force it now, in fact. It looks like they will.
It is not the fastest process, even with Jackie joining in, but they'll get the job done. GXR, they smoke up. They read us right. There was a ward watching the ramp. He could get a big curse here, a great lasso off, and just turn this around.
They're going to try. You do have the break there from Set Zero. He might die for this, but the Burrow Strike Epicenter's there. They've got Paulson. BKB's out as well. Fearless will just keep going after that Winter Wyvern. The buyback's there from Set Zero. Curse is out. They do lock down Fearless. He does actually end up going down. Now Motivate. Do they want to keep going? They're going to try. Cold Embrace will save the day here for JoeCam. GXR. They aren't going to lose anyone. They'll stop the Roshan from occurring. Motivate. I mean, they left the Roshan on half HP, but they certainly can't go back in without Fearless.
Middle tower is under attack.
No, it's a bit too scary without that Sand King's control. And GXR get a big spike now with the Ags up in their necks. So they've got that wider range stun. They've got the AoE stun with a Spike Carapace. They've got this obnoxious combination with Burrow and Cold Embrace. So if your Nyx with 50% damage reduction burrowed just gets healed up, you're gonna have issues in finding that counter control, and this could be how GXR starts to reel things back their way. Still, Motivate.Trust, they're smoked up. They know the curse is down. They know the metamorphosis is down. This could be a big fight.
Yeah, but JoeCam's gonna break the smoke. They immediately blink up. Burrow Strike off the mark. Dust is there. They're gonna spot JoeCam eventually. He's still Burrow, just hiding. Have they not realized he's there?
It's Reline.
Oh, he's within the fog. He'll make it obvious though. He'll go for the impale. How much time is he going to buy for his team to make it back over? They won't. So JoeCam, if he did an impale there, I don't think Motivate.Trust would have found him.
No, they wouldn't. They only dropped the sentry. They didn't have the obs for it, so they didn't have vision despite getting the dust off as well. One of those curious things in those spots. Still, Roshan starts, drops fast with Jackie's damage output, and GXR are not able to respond in time. They have kept the mid shoved in, but this is going to be the first Roche going the way of Motivate. They're going to have that Aegis up onto Jackie. He's a very tanky guy. He can actually take the front line now if he wants for his team. He's also saving up for the Satanic, and guess what?
Is under attack.
Oh, I know.
Double
John.
damage rune. There you go.
There's been a lot of double damage runes today, isn't there? So many.
Radiant's
Way
bottom
too many.
tower is
Kind of
under
ridiculous
attack.
how many. You know, I had a thought as well, John. What if in the next patch,
Yeah.
right? Like 60 minutes in, like let's say 60 minutes is gone now in the game. What if there's a triple damage rune that's introduced in the new patch?
What's wrong with you?
I mean, think
Why?
about it, John. Well, you want to end the game, right? And the tier 5 items, sometimes they don't even do it. So just get a triple
True.
damage rune going. And that way, one of the teams is going to win. You know, that's a lot of damage.
It's way too much RNG. I don't like. I love the concept of it. I just
What
think
if it's
it leaves things
guaranteed?
to chance.
Guaranteed in the right spot every time. In fact, hold that thought, because Jackie's going to get jumped now. But it won't matter because he's Lifestealer with an Aegis DD and Rage up. What if it was in the exact same spot every time, John, at the exact same time? Like a
I'm
Roshan.
worried about what you're saying. We like a Roshan, yeah, exactly like that. Huh? You kill a big boss with a buff like that. Wow, outstanding.
Well, imagine like
Wonder what we'd call it.
what if the 4th Roshan gave you triple damage in like a bottle
I
or
like
something?
the sound of that. There you go. That sounds a lot better. Smoke. Oh,
No, Lasso's there. They got Q on the Grimstroke. He's not going to die, though. He's all right.
What?
The Dispel. It's there with the Inkswell shards, and now onto the Nyx Assassin. They found the backside. Cold Embrace is going to buy time for Jokam, but he is still set to fall, it looks like. Meanwhile, towards the south, well, actually, a curse is out. They only got one, though. Massaros, he's going to be all right. Back on the Wyvern. They will take down Polison. And Q is still somehow alive.
oh.
He's going to survive. They'll get the Infest out as well. He's all right. Q's gonna buy back with the Nyx Assassin, but doesn't even matter. Not really. It won't lead to much.
Gotta love that, right? Infest just immediately burst healing. That's why I really love the Ags on Lifestealer. I think there was only 23 Savage we saw do that last time. I love it. It's just very silly when you have that lower cooldown Infest and you're just healing up your allies. It really does turn fights if you don't expect it. Like, you full commit and you don't kill, and then suddenly the Lifestealer pops out and you're all dead.
Absolutely. Lacrity? Not gonna want to try and deal with Fearless here, especially when he has an Arcane Rune active in that bottle. Very scary here for Alacrity. I'll die jungle. There is a bit of a group up. Jokam, though, is in the Vendetta now, so he can try to scout out for his team. Meanwhile, towards the right side, Mizu with the BKB's trying to run, but look at the slow. Even with the Firefly, he just can't get out of range of the Lifestealer. They'll get Q down, but Masros is in. He got the Dragon Tail off onto the Wyvern. They want Polison gone. He'll try to escape with the Cold Embrace now. He'll get a bit of a reset going. He does have the curse up. We'll commit it onto Fearless, but that is not going to help. Meanwhile, Masros, he does get Jokam.
Oh boy.
The game is just so darn tough here for GXR. They just have no way of dealing with Jackie. And John, he's got a Satanic soon. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how much HP he has once that's up, and they can't stop. Dieback on Jokam is fairly significant. They need him for the high ground defense. So if the tier 2 start falling, it gets a bit dicey. Now you do have this item spike for In Your Dream. He's got the Eye of Scotty up. He's got his own healing reduction. He's got his own slow, more stats, and it all boils down to, can In Your Dream survive long enough to get the damage off? I think he can. The issue is the damage enough against Jackie? I'm not sure. Like, Jackie, he's going to have to deal with that healing reduction, but the Satanic, we've seen the Scotty versus Satanic. Satanic overpowers the Scotty as long as you pop the active. It doesn't do enough to stop the healing from coming through in those heroes.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. He also doesn't have buyback, don't forget. So In Your Dream really can't afford to get caught out right now on that Terrorblade. It's been a rough game for him. No buyback gold available. I think they will shred through those barracks if they do get caught out, as even now Massaros, he does have the Ags up. So the Ancient Black Dragon's there. Things are getting very scary now for GXR, but they're going to smoke up. Again, there's no buyback. If they get wiped here, it could be a real disaster. They're going to find Q, though. They'll go for the lasso. Get themselves a nice, easy pick-off, and that'll be enough. They'll get back to farming.
Yeah, buy some space out for GXR. They go back into the jungle. They get some space to clear out some camps. On the side of Motivate.Trust, they're still building up here. You have 3.4k HP on Jackie without the armlet turned on. So he's got an insane amount of HP. He's got 31 armor on top of it. He's much tankier than the Terribly. This is where HP versus armor starts to come in as a factor, right? Like, you have at some point, armor is diminishing returns. So In Your Dream has 37 armor. That's a good amount, 3.1k HP. Jackie is tankier with 3.4 and 31 armor. Right? Like, that 6 armor difference, it doesn't amount to much physical reduction. So it's just a lot harder to keep Jackie pinned down. And he is going dataless, so he's going to fix his damage issue with that critical strike, and once that's up, that's when things get dicey. Like, you still have the range advantage on the Terrorblade as long as Metamorphosis is up. But if Jackie just gap closes, and again, he has multiple vehicles to get that done, if he jumps you, you kind of just melt because he's got his own. Well, his passives just play really well with all of that HP you have. Sure, the added damage is considered physical, if I recall right, but it's still more damage coming through. And the Terrorblade, he's going to need his own Daedalus up, and you are queuing it up. So an almost similar build-up from both sides, except for the BKB on In Your Dream earlier on. We'll have to see if he can farm it fast enough, because it feels like he needs it quick. Like, there is just not enough damage to deal with the big chorus. All of them are tanky. Fearless is tanky, Masaros is tanky, Jackie's extra tanky. They just can't burst all of them at once.
But they can't. Let's see what GXR does intend to do now. Look, Motivate, they're grouping up again. Dragon Form was already popped. Looks like they want to try and force a fight. They've got Q up in about 10, and they're going to go for a smoke up right now. What are they going to find, though? Down to the bot lane, they might find Alacrity on that Ember. He does have the Lincoln Sphere up, though, so you're not going to be able to get that guaranteed stun off. He should be just fine to get himself out in time, so they're going to turn back around now. Regen Rune just going to be denied by the illusion. Instead, they will find Polison. The Wyvern kill, definitely not a bad one, as the arrow does also connect, and they'll get him. He'll have buyback. So not too big of a deal. Certainly a nice kill, though, here for MTG.
Yeah, you're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth here, as GXR. Probably not a hero they'd want to lose if something big breaks out, so they're going to have to be cautious while the Winter Wyvern's down. Motivate will just take control back on the outpost. Start to think about Roshan. A minute 20 away until we see the respawn timer. Alacrity still playing this split push game well, and he is inching towards the Ags. Once that's up, his presence across the map is going to be multiplied, and he can kind of play the split push game and trying to stall out here.
Oh, Fearless is actually having a look around to see if he can find the Ember. He seems to know that he is somewhere around. Alacrity may show on this creep wave. Fearless is going to be there, however. It will show now that the Burrow Strike is down. Lincoln's is broken, though, but he's going to Remnant. He's going to Remnant right back the way, though, of Motivate.Trust. Dragon Tail's there. Into the arrow. They were waiting. He can't get out of that one. Bad news. He has buyback. The thing is, though, he was so close to his Aghanim Scepter. He'd rather not commit it if he can avoid it.
Yeah, and that's going to be a massive loss if he is forced to buy back. They do commit the Dragon Form, and the towers just melt with that Dragon. Although,
yeah, Lasso's there, but Burrow Strike is in on In Your Dream. They've got the Dark Portrait out as well. Have they committed it yet? Not quite. They're going to keep trying to fight. Fearless is in trouble and will drop Masaros. He's been left behind as well. So In Your Dream, you'll get a double kill, and now even Q drops. They just go way too deep. Jackie, how are you going to find your way out of this one? He'll just go for a TP with the Rage, and he's going to be alright. Motivate just proving to be a bit too excited there. Not respecting the damage output of that Terrorblade. And I suppose you are at that point now where In Your Dream, he is going to start hitting very hard.
yeah, just with that Crystallis alone, it's enough to boost his damage to an insane amount when the Metamorphosis is up. Motivate.Trust, again, just being too keen, as you mentioned. The Roshan is a longer timer here for GXR, so they don't have that safe objective to play for. They're going to have to try to maybe just push out top, take the tier 1, pressure a tier 2. They have enough time to get some decent damage in there, although...
And Jackie's going to rush forward with the Rage. Yeah, he's still very confident himself. I suppose at this point you've got to be slightly worried about this TB now. As long as the meta's down, they won't be too concerned about him. If you're Motivate, I mean, you've got to be much more cautious now, knowing how easily you can throw back the game the way of GXR. Even Dota Plus, I mean, it's still in the favor of MTG by 69%. But there is still a decent chance that GXR do pull off a comeback. It really only takes one more team fight to go their way.
Yeah, they've managed to really stall out the game. That the Ags for Alacrity is up. So that power spike we were talking about with split push, with the remnant spam, it's there. It's going to be much more impactful in the middle of these engagements. Motivate.Trust. I think they need a defensive item. At least one Lincoln's here to break off the lasso. And once you have something like that, you kind of feel secure. The Lotus Orb is helpful on Fearless, but wasn't really enough to help them out there. Still, Daedalus up and running on Jackie. So our Lifestealer crits for about 1.1 with the armlet on. And he sits at 4.1k HP. He's got a lot of armor, 36 when it's turned on as
Mid
well.
lane, Jokam, Dragon Tail's there. Masteros, he's going to be forced to BKB up. They get the arrow, but it's a burrowed Nyx Assassin. It's going to be quite hard to take him down, especially when the whole team's behind him. So they're going to have to let him go. GXR now, I mean, they saw the Dragon form be used. They might want to go for a smoke up once it's expired. Roshan's up as well.
And this could be really good timing for GXR. If Masteros does not have that spell in the next engagement, it's going to be feeling fairly substandard for Motivate.Trust. They have to start worrying about all the curses coming out from Paulson, the BKB piercing control, and that lasso. It does build up. They are starting to rush, though. Just a bit.
They are. GXR. Smoke up. Motivate.Trust, they are going to pop the Moonlight Shadow and try to move back into that dire jungle, and they will be successful. Jokam is there to break the smoke, or rather Moonlight. Not necessary.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We're going to fly through, trying to get some vision out. Neither team going to re-engage yet. I think if you're Motivate, you're just waiting on Masteros to have the Dragon form. GXR, I mean, this does feel like the better time to fight on their side of things. They've got every ability up right now. Nothing really to hold them back.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They aren't going to be able to get much done, but they do get a Radiant tier 2 tower at the bot lane. They get some objective here, GXR. Roshan. He's going to get started here from Jackie. Be very dangerous times. GXR now, they're going to be the ones who have to try and make their way into this Roshan pit. It's not going to be too easy. But you've got the burrow there from Jokam, and that's going to buy a lot of time. It's going to be enough to force Motivate.Trust out of that Roshan pit, but the burrow strike is there. Fearless does catch out Jokam. If they can find this Nyx Assassin, it'll be a great start, but now the lasso's there. They pull back in Masteros, and the damage in your dream is doing way too much. Masteros is gone. You can just rush the Roshan if you're GXR. Fearless is going to have the infested Lifestealer. They're going to have to try and jump back in with the epicenter. And they'll try now. In your dream, he does get caught out. The damage is up there. No, the Cold Embrace is going to be through the BKB. And now the curse is there in your dream. He's just going to have to run back off and re-engage back in onto the Grimstroke. They might be able to get him and do. However, for Fearless, he's going to drop. Jackie seems to want a man fight. He will be able to get Jokam. The meta is going to wear out soon here and in your dream. Suddenly GXR, they have the net worth advantage. Without the meta though, it doesn't feel like they can fight this Roshan. In your dream actually picks up a flicker there with that neutral, but it won't matter. Jackie takes everything. Q's going to disconnect. They do get that secondary Roshan. GXR, even though it looks like they got the better end of that team fight, without the meta up, they just can't keep the fight up.
No, and that's the limitation of the Terrorblade at the moment. They don't have a refresh, they don't have the Ags up. So In Your Dream is very limited in the time he can fight. But when he can, the damage flying through is really good. He does do a lot of damage with that Metamorphosis. It's harder for Jackie to just run up and rage and focus him down. Lots of ways to kite around that Lifestealer at this point. The side of Motivate.Trust, they need more magic damage on hand. Right now, it's all resting on Fearless. So I think they need to kind of save the epicenter until they see the commitment coming out from GXR to save with a Cold Embrace. I guess you could maybe try to build up on your Mirana as well. Maybe get the Ags up for the Star Storm with the Sacred Arrow coming out. But that's like a pipe dream right now for Setzer, considering his farm. GXR, they've done a really good job of just stalling this game out. Like, they are getting really big in the Terrorblade. It's becoming an issue to hold down Alacrity. Jocam is really disruptive on the Nyx. So even if it goes to high ground, just factoring in Cold Embrace, factoring in Winter's Curse, the Burrow on the Nyx, it is a lot for Motivate.Trust to have to control, and feels like they're going to have to look for pickoffs outside the base first before fully committing. As we've seen them commit last time, they just got punished very badly, and GXR can easily replicate that once again.
Mizu, he'll sneak up from the backside here. Is at 0. Let's be somewhat careful. Flame Break is there again. Firefly pop. Mizu really wants the kill, but he has no lasso. He might still get set 0, but no. The Stormcraft are gonna save the day. And then you've got your instant heal there with Jackie. Imagine he also has the open wounds up now, so much slow is there on Jackie. GXR, they'll take the Radiant Outpost. They'll get a bit of XP going their way. Motivate.Trust. Still looking to try and force high ground, it seems. They are still going to have to fight back into the meta of In Your Dream. So it's not going to be very easy for them. But it's going to be up in 17 seconds. So you're going to have it in time for the high ground defense. It looks like it's not going to really be that easy anyway, because Alacrity, he has been split pushing that bot lane. In fact, it's Mizu that's split pushing, not rather Alacrity. So not going to be easy for Motivate to try and make the high ground attempt yet. And now In Your Dream's got a Satanica. So he becomes that much more difficult to kill.
Yeah, it's kind of funny watching these two cores form, because they've basically got the exact same items except for that BKB on IYD. And that's the one difference, that he has to buy the BKB, the Lifestealer doesn't. Otherwise, almost exact same build-up on both. And it's starting to feel like the Terrorblade is going to be that big issue. Like, he's just going to be able to stand, fight. He has 3.5k HP. He is starting to match that tankiness on Jackie. And Jackie, remember, he didn't buy back. It is off cooldown, but if he does drop twice over, they might be forced to buy back for that defense. There's a lot of opportunities here for GXR to just run down the lane because they're not dealing with super creeps. So the push is still really good. Side of Motivate.Trust still have about 2.5 minutes left on their Aegis. They have a lot of time to kind of think about their next move. They just need to get control off. I think Alacrity's doing a great job in just split pushing, shoving out waves every single time with his Ags. And that's just keeping Motivate.Trust in check.
And it is. They're going to move in. They're going to try and get to that triangle. They have the Dark Portrait there. Alacrity is just going to remnant out. They still want more. Jackie has the open wounds up. Dragon Tail, it's going to be there. Alacrity, he gets caught. He had no remnants anyway to get any further. He had to go for the TP play, and it doesn't work out for him. Luckily, he does have buyback. And the bot wave's still being forced in, so I don't think they can actually go high ground for Motivate. They can try, and the line has been drawn out. But GXR, they're in a position to actually push back that bot wave if they keep going.
Yeah, they're in a really good spot to just keep pressuring out. Jackie will get started. Looks like they will just maybe focus on a bit of a trade, force the buyback.
Glyph is going to be there. Rage has been committed. He'll go to the top lane instead, where you've got the exposed rats, but the lasso is out now, and they want to try and blow him up. At least one life, but the Moonlight, it buys him time to get the infest off. He's going to be fine. And it looks like they're just going to wait out the meta.
Yeah. This is where they can just play that waiting game. Metamorphosis still has a little bit of time. And they are kind of playing tag here with the Dark Portrait, so you have to watch that. It is a ton of damage that flies out from that Ags on Q. They have lost the illusions down bot, so they're not able to keep that split push anymore, and Jackie's just going to commit.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent damage on Jackie. He's going to lose the Aegis, it looks like, and does. He got the top racks that he wanted. Meta's about to wear off. They might try for the second, but they're not going to have enough. Paulison, he's in with the curse. They will get Q down. They get something. Buyback immediately committed by Q. I guess without the meta, they want to try and force this game to end. BKB's in. Masteros, he's out. He's got Jocam. They want that Nyx Assassin. They'll get him. He's got no way out of this. No buyback either. And if you're GXR, I mean, at least you've got a tier 2 bot tower. Mid lane, Q, he's still being chased down. Mizu trying to get the dieback going, but Fearless is going to be there to chase him down. They'd love the Batrider kill if they could get it, but they can't reach. Masteros, he has no blink up either. Back to the mid lane for Motivate, but they're missing a creep wave.
They've done a great job in just cutting wave there with Mizu. It stalls out long enough that the Ags is done here on In Your Dream. So he's got that Terror Wave. He's got an additional Metamorphosis to play with. And that control might catch Motivate.Trust off guard the first time it gets revealed. It's just, they're going to be kited around a bit if they're not ready to pop some of those BKBs and pop that Rage off at the right time. This could be the tipping point for GXR if they can get a good spell use out of it.
What happens? The bot tier 2 tower looks like it's going to be the target of Motivate.Trust now to try and get rid of that. They just want to secure the megas. GXR now with the backup of the Terror Wave. Start moving in. Mizu's going to have a look around for a lasso attempt. 4 staffs out. Who have they got? It's going to be Q. This will be a dieback on the Grimstroke. He does get caught out alone. He is down for 90 seconds. So GXR, they're going to start their own push.
Yeah, that's pretty darn big. The Dark Portrait illusion just gives them a lot of value around the map. And now they're missing out on that one big tool to bring some damage back onto the way of GXR. And GXR, they still have to eat through some tier 2s. They're not quite lined up for the bot as the creep wave has been held back. So, looks like Motivate
bottom lane, Alacrity. Oh, he barely got the BKB off. The arrow again, just not connecting in time from set 0. Alacrity makes it out. And now they know exactly where Motivate are, so they're going to keep up this mid lane push. Creeps are on the way. They might even try to force a team fight bottom, it looks like. Mizu, he does TP down, but Masteros immediately is in. Fearless is there with the Burrow Strike. In Your Dream now. He gets a Terror Wave off, but he's on the low ground. Sunder is going to save Mizu for at least a little bit so he can get the lasso. Now the Cold Embrace is there, buying him a bit more time. Is it enough though? Epicenter Burrow, it's all being thrown out, but In Your Dream, he got the BKB off in time. No damage will fly out as Jackie, he'll keep going to work. Alacrity now being chased down. The 4 staffs are there. Jackie, he should be able to get him, but no. The Cold Embrace again. Still Joe Cam. He does drop the Masteros, but Jackie, he's alone right now. He'll try to cheese up. Is it enough? Fearless is there with the Burrow Strike. Jackie's down, however. They've got the Life Stealer. And In Your Dream, back to work onto Masteros. Back to go in onto Fearless instead. Fearless goes for a burrow, but the Cold Embrace will make sure that In Your Dream can't die. They found Masteros to boot. They've got to deal with the top wave. But it looks like they will be able to get a push going of their own now, GXR.
Oh yeah, they take some big kills. That dieback in Fearless is huge.
Oh, Mizu.
He's not going to be there for the defense.
He's got Q again. We know that Q, he's already died back. He's going right back to the graveyard. Another 65 seconds. I mean, the waves were pushed out, so it might be a little bit challenging for GXR to be able to get some form of a objective out of this. Roshan's not up either, which is quite unfortunate for them. They might still be able to try high ground. They've got the Terror Wave.
Yep, they've still got that 10-second Metamorphosis, and In Your Dream will just get to work. He could force the buybacks out. No one is budging, though. It looks like Motivate.Trust are willing to drop at least one objective. They've got the Fortify up. Only one to respawn in the next few seconds is that Mirana. Lifestealer still a ways off, so they're going to drop at least the racks mid.
They're going to let it go. They're not willing to give up that valuable buyback. I mean, if you're GXR, you may not back, though. I mean, you've got meta in 35. You might be able to play around here as Masteros. He's going to buy back. In Your Dream has not backed yet. He will eventually after the buyback of Masteros. Or will they? I mean, again, you've got meta up very soon. They're going to jump in. They'll get a lasso. They've got Jackie. They take him down. Oh, they've got the control. Jackie's gone. He has buyback, but the dive is in. Alacrity wants to go for more. They found Q again. You know he's got no buyback. And now in your dream, he has the meta back up. Things become infinitely harder. It's like, how do you defend? It's going to be a bit of a 5v3 scenario. You can buy back on Jackie, but he's holding out for now.
GXR, like, they've just got all the plays left. Like, they still have the big Winter's Curse if they want to play that.
So he's got another lasso up. Oh, he's gonna go in as well. He's got the DK through the BKB Jackie. He'll be forced to buy back. Fearless is in. He's got the epicenter, but it's not doing enough damage. Masaros, though, is gonna survive, and Jackie gets an infest to make sure that Fearless does not die. And GXR, they've seen enough. The Roshan's up. They've forced out the buybacks. There's another double damage rune down at the bot rune spot, as to be expected at this point. But more importantly, Roshan is there. In GXR, they might have first dibs.
Yeah, they are playing it safe, not quite grouping up for the Roshan yet. They do have the 22k lead on GXR's side now. Scan, unfortunately scanning out an illusion. Kind of baited out here on Motivate.Trust, but they can sneak in. They did smoke into the Roche pit. They are scouting out with Jokan. There's no vision here.
Yeah. We'll move in. Illusion Rune is, or rather Illusion, is going to give the information. In your dream now, it has Refresher Orb coming out, so he will have another meta and another Terror Wave. It's just on the courier. It's Jokan. Oh, Paulson, he jumped in. He wanted a curse, but he's not going to get it. Refresher Orb now there in your dream. He'll just have it in the backpack. He won't refresh yet, though. You don't want to waste it if you can avoid it. The team's so desperate for that next Roshan. Gonna be a refresher shard. And they're gonna leave the Roshan out of the pit here, Jokan. And with the Stormcrafter, he is slowly gonna do some damage to it.
Yeah, Roche is slowly melting to the remnants coming out from Alacrity. He does have the Ag Shard, so they're burning. He's burning, slowly.
He's burning. he's actually going down. He can't reach it. Jackie's gonna jump in. Roshan's going down a lot faster now. GXR, they've got to react ASAP. Jokan, he'll walk in now like, what the hell's going on? He can't believe his eyes. They'll slam him up as well.
Aegis.
They've got to pick up the items. Aegis is there. Jackie, he does get it in your dream. He's there with the meta. Jokan, he's going to drop.
God. Alacrity took the refresh shard.
I mean, why the hell not?
He's got the refresh and the refresh shard. He has a ton of remnants for the next engagement.
Oh, he's got 15
the Aegis
remnants.
is great, though, but yeah, this is a nightmare. Like, they gave out the shard. I think they gave out cheese as well. I heard it eaten by someone. So they don't get max value here from Motivate, and they do manage to make it work. They forced the buyback in Jokan, so you're not feeling too bad there, but you're not getting that turnaround potential that you wanted with a refresh on your side. It's just not shaping up so far for Motivate, and they're going to have to execute perfectly to counteract this.
Smoke up. 15 remnants available. They've got another. They've still got the meta. They've got double meta up. MTG gonna pretty much just miss out on GXR. And uh-oh, Q. Oh, he got left behind again. Q. He's gone. Not what Motivate.Trust want to see, but he does have buyback now.
Oh.
Jump in. Fearless. Strike is there. Fearless. He's got Mizu. They got the Battle Rider, and now Jokan might drop. No, the Cold Embrace. It's not going to be enough. Alacrity, though, he gets at 0. Onto Jackie they go. No, they want Fearless instead. They want the Sand King dead. They'll commit everything, and they'll leave the Life Stealer. They'll completely ignore him. They'll take down Fearless. He's down without buyback. Masaros and Jackie, they're in onto Paulson. They'll get the kill. The leash is there. Masaros, though, now going to back out. As in your dream, can get a lot of damage out. They'll leave him be. They'll go back in after Jackie. In fact, no, they want the supports first. They'll go after Q. The Grimstroke's down. Jackie trying to run. Meanwhile, set 0. He'll be targeted. Alacrity, he just refreshes so many times for an ultra kill out on the Ember. There is a 3v4 scenario now. It might be a 3v1, or rather a 4v1. As Masaros, he tried to split the wave, but they're going to catch him out. This game is looking
boy.
very over. It's Jackie versus the world. He's gonna buy Divine. He's actually gonna try.
Oh my god.
He's gonna try this one out. He'll see what he can do on his own.
Is under attack.
I've never seen this. I've never seen a 4v1 at the Ancient work out, but we'll see if Jackie can pull off a miracle.
He's got to play his heart out. That double metamorphosis is there. Refresh on In Your Dream. Jackie sneaking up.
He's sneaking up. All right, damage is there. It's not really that high. In Your Dream, he'll turn around now. There's your lasso out. He's just gonna melt. It's wishful thinking. He does have the Aegis. He can try one more time, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna get surrounded like this, Jackie. He's gonna try, but you're against the Wyvern. The cold embrace is there, and they've gone. GG is called, and GXR, they make a great comeback in this game number 2 to draw out the series 1-1. What a game it was.
Yeah, great game from both sides. Motivate.Trust, again, we were amazed by how well Jackie was farming on the Lifestealer. He was top of net worth for a very long time, and here that we've seen time and time again fail at farming. He didn't even have a Maelstrom. He just had Armlet, and he was still keeping up with the Terrorblade. The GXR, though, they hold out long enough. Eventually, the healing factor from Paulson was way too much, right? Like, that heal scales into the late game. They did not have great magic damage on Motivate.Trust in the late game scenario to burst through that hold. And they also had that great control coming out from Jokam with Nyx with the Ags up. The damage eventually came out from In Your Dream. Alacrity got the Ags with a refresh, and they ran it down from there. Motivate.Trust had to play a tighter ship there. They needed to go into the high ground. The one attempt they made was too hasty, and it just fell apart from there. Good punishment from GXR, getting the draw. Unfortunate for Motivate.Trust. I don't think anything but a 2-0 would have guaranteed them that spot in the upper bracket start, so it all relies now on how the rest of the teams do here.
We'll see, as we are going to head into tomorrow, of course. Now, we're not going to be back tomorrow. We're going to have a couple days break, and Aries and Black will take over the casting once again. For now, though, it is MLP Dota and johnxfire, and it is rather late, so we are going to head off. Enjoy tomorrow's games, and we'll be back during the playoffs. We'll see you then.